zero reason that our team, Lord willing, we stay healthy. We're expected to compete in every single football game, and we had some difficult breaks last year go against us. So it's our turn this year for them to bounce our way. And don't forget, adding back also not just to those pieces, but our special teams, adding Alex back, who was 100% in field goals my first year. And that I think that's going to be another thing that helps us in those tight games.
Left side, third row. Hugh, on the subject of Jackson, what did you see out of him from like a leadership perspective that made you want to bring him here this summer?
Well, I think it's twofold. In January when we return, we always let our players elect our leadership council. Jackson was just getting there, obviously wasn't eligible to do that. But through one spring semester, and we re-elected in June, and our team, he was one of the leading vote getters. And so you combine that with the fact that if I really want him to be my guy, then he's got to be my guy, and he's got to do it here. And that doesn't mean, listen, I love Deuce Knight and Ashton also. I think we've got an incredible quarterback room. But I think making sure he is confident that we believe in him is one of the other reasons, that and the combination of what he's done in a short time to become a leader.
Right side, third row.
Hey, Hugh. Johnny Condon, ABC 3340. In Birmingham, we had a chance to watch Jordan Crawford an awful lot at Parker High School. I'm interested to see what his spring has been like, and have you ever had an impact freshman defensive lineman that projects as well as he does?
It'd be hard to say that I've had one as a freshman. Probably Robert Kimdichie when we signed him. He was one of the top players in the country. But Jordan's strength and explosiveness is special, and he's very difficult to handle. And we've got a really good center in Connor Lew, and Jordan is a handful. And I was telling people earlier, I'm really like the depth of our interior. Do we have the guy that has already put up the enormous stats in this league? No, but I think we really are 6 deep there that have, and I think Malik Blockton can be really special, as a young kid, and Autry and Jordan, but they're just young. But we were able to bring in a few older guys that have experience too, that that they're really going to have to buy into, give me my 15 to 20 plays and let me get it done, and buy into that kind of rotation there.
In the middle, third row.
Hugh, talk about the difference in opening the season with a team like Baylor compared to maybe the last couple openers for you, and how much you think that could affect fall camp, or how much you've seen it in the spring, have an impact?
I think it's that game's vital. So it's important to our season to get off. We're going to be playing in a difficult environment against a really good football team that's well coached by Dave Aranda. So when you put all of that on paper, the importance of it, there's no question that our focus throughout fall camp should be heightened. And this is not a game that you open up with and you sleepwalk at all and expect to win. And that sense of urgency should be seen all throughout camp as we get ready for that one. So I kind of get excited about that, and I think our kids will follow.
Right side, fourth row.
Coach Freeze, Thrift Behringer, Sports Visions out of Columbus. I know there's a lot of hype surrounding how talented the receiving core is, but I want you to talk about that offensive line led by Connor Lew. What's your expectations with them, and how excited you are about this group that's the best it's been in a couple of seasons?
Well, you said it. That's what I believe. I think it's the best it's been since we've been here. And Connor is an anchor of it. He and Jeremiah Wright, and I know those guys now, and so I believe strongly in them, and Dylan Wade, who are all some of the guys we brought in that will formulate that interior, and being able to get Tall back for another year, added to bringing in Mason and X. I'm with you, and then we like these young kids, that a couple of them will probably going to need to play. You very seldom get through a year where everyone remains, totally healthy at that position because of the wear and tear that the body has. But so we'll need to develop some of these younger guys. But we can roll our top 7 to 8 out there and feel really good about them.
Front row.
You brought Connor, Keldrick with you. Those are two guys that have a pretty special part of this because they were kind of the first couple of guys that you really went after in a recruiting cycle. How special is it to have those guys here and be leaders after winning those battles that first December?
Yeah, I was talking to, I think it was, John Cohen was reminding me and some others, that first year we had, 2.5 weeks, and we took a big jump in the recruiting rankings, and largely because of Keldrick Falk and Connor Liu and Kaylee and there's others, but those two were kind of the bell cows, in the rankings for sure. And to have those two guys, trust us, knowing us 2.5 weeks, says a lot about Auburn, truthfully, and them wanting to be in that environment. And then our coaches did a good job in a short amount of time of convincing them. But those are two, of the first, and I'll tell you, they were also both what I consider to be reasonable in, look, this is fair. Come and earn your way, and you'll be blessed. And heck, both were, I guess, freshman All-SEC, I believe. And, I think their experience at Auburn would be one that they would say has been very transparent, very authentic, very genuine, and can't wait to play this year.
Second row and middle.
Jerry over the AL.com. Coach, you've been doing this for a long time. Would you say this fall is one of the more important seasons of your career?
Man, I embrace the expectations of Auburn. You should have them there. And I think every season you should have the expectations. But the exciting thing now is I really like this locker room. And, I like the kids. I like coaching them. I like our staff. And I think we are primed. It's time now to be in every game and then start finding a way to win them by doing the little things better that we didn't last year.
Left side on the aisle. Hugh, you and John Cohen have kind of mentioned y'all's game plan right now with pertaining to August 1st and things like that. But what is your message in particular to this recruiting class, maybe about some of the recruiting slides you've had of late?
Yeah, we're very transparent, maybe to a fault. But we're obviously operating under what we believe the intent of the settlement was, and we're really straight with them. Our interpretation is we can discuss with our our prospects, their portion of a revenue sharing model, and that's all that we can really promise right now, and that's the way we're operating. And I assure you that our administration will have a plan to change if that ever changes, but we believe that to be, the way it's designed, and, we'll see where that goes.
Front row.
Coach, going back, Tony Reese, WCVM. We talk about the progression of the Freeze Four from last season. Of course, guys like Cam, Bryce, Perry, now adding additional Eric Singleton with the wide receiver core. Just kind of what you're really expecting from them this year. Just kind of how have you seen these guys progress now?
I just need help figuring out how to get them all the ball. That's going to be the biggest challenge because they're all so dang talented. And they all have different skill sets and do things a little bit better. And, if you're throwing an RPO to a one-on-one guy, you want Cam Coleman doing that, and you want Malcolm running this route, and Eric and Perry, and you add Horatio to it also. And, it's a very talented room. And you got to figure out a way, though, to get certain guys the ball that can make plays with it, and you got some in that room, whether it's Malcolm and Eric in the run game or screen game or whatever you have, or whether we got to design a shot here. And, obviously you design great shots if it's the right coverage, and you got to have you can't have the mentality of, hey, we got Cam Coleman, so we're taking this shot and we're going to throw a post into a one-high look. You don't do that. But you have to have those ready to be called, because you've got to give people like Cam and Perry, these big guys, the opportunity to go make those plays, and then figure out a way for those skill guys like the Bryce and Eric and Malcolm to do the things they do.
Left side, second row.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX and College Station. I know he didn't get a lot of playing time, but Mike O'Reilly, a tight end that transferred out. Just what kind of potential and what kind of player do you see in him?
Yeah, we didn't want to lose him. We thought he had a huge upside. He's an athletic, big guy that just got really caught behind Rivaldo and Luke and B. Frazier. It was just a deep room, but I think he's got great potential.
Two final questions. We'll start on the right, and then we'll go back in the back on the left.
Toby Rowland, KWTV. Coach, because of the way last year went for Jackson, is there scar tissue that you've had to work through with him mentally, or did he show up with confidence and swagger?
Yeah, the judge of that, I think, will come. I actually we are doing personality tests for our entire building, and I really enjoyed studying that on Jackson and myself. And the owner of the company kind of came and sat with me and went through my coordinators and the quarterbacks and gave me his ideas, and I thought he was brilliant. I really do, and it helped me a lot understand how Jackson and Deuce and Ashton, how do they need to be coached by me? Because I can be, as he pointed out several times, I can be that Michael Jordan side of you got to get this right. Why didn't you get it right? Instead I probably need to be more of the Scottie Pippen sometimes with some quarterbacks. And I think it's helped Jackson and I and Deuce and I, because I know even when I see them right now, I saw him sitting out there, the things that we discussed in that meeting immediately popped to my mind about, all right, what is it that Jackson needs to hear from me right now? Or what is it that Deuce or Ashton? And I need to do the whole team. I just don't know that I can, my memory's that good, but it's been very helpful. And I think he had to regain confidence. And I think that we've taken a lot of steps toward that, and I feel really good about that right now. Ultimately, I don't think there's any way you're going to really judge it until we hit the field. But he's got the swagger right now and the respect of this football team and a great understanding of our offense.
Final question, left side.
Coach, Auburn at times last year struggled to convert red zone possessions into touchdowns. What are the keys to reversing that?
Yeah, I've said publicly, in our study of why we weren't as successful as we wanted to be last year, what are the pieces to that? And started with turnovers, we were dead last. Then you go to red zone scoring, which you just referred to, and critical downs on defense and kicking game, not being successful on the field goals we needed to be successful on. And so we spent extensive amount of time studying. First, you look at us as coaches. How do we coach it better? Are we running the right things against the right looks? And so you look at our part in the lack of success in that area first, and we did that all spring. And then you go and add more pieces to the roster that give you a better chance to at any place succeeding. And so again, you start with you as a coach. How do we coach it better? And stay and be better in those critical areas that decide the games usually, and then add to the pieces that can help make those plays successful.
Coach, thank you very much for your time.
Yep. Thank you, guys.